You're listening to Horror Movies and Shit with your host, Pedantic Jim and Pretentious Mark.
Hey, Mark, how are you today?
So pretentious, Jim, pretentious and pedantic Jim.
No.
You're neither. Well, actually, you do have a badge in our Facebook group.
I do.
What is that, Jim?
It's Group Expert.
So, are you an expert, Jim, in horror movies?
In that group, I am. It's not about horror movies. It's about the group, Mark.
Anyway, hello, everyone.
How are you, Mark? How was your week? Did you have a good week?
It was okay.
Well, nobody really cares.
Yeah.
We have a special guest today, Mark, don't we?
We do.
We do. Do you want to introduce our guest?
Yeah, we have the top yodeling expert in the world. It is Vera Vanguard, and she will actually show everyone her yodeling skills right now.
Yodeling. That's all I got.
Look at that.
And she's also the top tap dancer in the world. So
Mark, no,
please
don't indulge him. Please don't indulge him. This is how we can tell that he hasn't done anything to prepare for the show because he's just making shit up.
Yeah, I didn't even realize. Oh,
I know.
Sorry.
I know. I was running late from work. I'm usually much earlier than this, but I was running late from work, so I was like, "Oh crap, I got to get home." But anyway, so Mark, Vera, did you write it or just direct it too?
I wrote it, directed it, puppeteered it.
She did everything.
Edited it, the whole thing.
So one of my new favorite absurdist movies.
Yes.
Love.
We were talking about that with
Brian.
Yes.
Yes, because
it sounds super interesting, and I will be checking it out. Don't worry.
Right, and we found it streaming on Brian's service, Momitu.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So Vera, I have lots of questions.
Please.
But first, tell us about the movie. How did it come about?
So I'm one of the top child-size puppeteers, meaning we have child-size hands, and we're adults. But in all the toy commercials, when it cuts to a close-up of a toy being activated or Barbie's head turning, it's usually one of us adults with little hands doing all that precision work. So I've been doing that for about 10 years, and it's called Play Motion. And I'm like, why hasn't nobody done a Play Motion feature film yet? And I'm also a filmmaker. That's why I came out to LA to just pursue the dream. And I learned over the last 20 years, writing, editing, everything. And I also have this bizarre sense of humor, as you know, and you will find out if you haven't watched it yet.
Right.
And I was just like, what is the weirdest thing I could do? It started as a COVID lockdown project. I'm like, how do I make something with no people in it? Oh, yeah, wait, I'm one of the top puppeteers in the world. Duh.
Right.
And so I started writing, and that just turned into this. And everyone was on board. I have a lot of friends in the industry, and I'm like, hey, so I'm making a zombie alien puppet emo goth movie. Do you want to help? And no one said no.
That's awesome. I'm not going to lie, my favorite scene in the entire movie, other than Izzy shooting the zombies, was the carjacking. That was some pretty fun stuff.
Oh, thank you. Izzy's voiced by me, by the way. I know I sound nothing like her, but yes.
No.
Yes.
I know. I was having... she just does the most random things throughout the whole movie, and it was just glorious to watch. At one point, she sends Tom across town for a cauldron. It was just great. It was so
she's
great.
Full of shit.
Yeah, I know.
She wants to get him killed. I don't want to give away the story, but she's a jilted ex-lover, So, this would be the perfect way to get rid of your ex that you still are in love with. But whatever.
I don't want to spoil anything, but I do want to know what his girlfriend looked like inside the bag.
Oh, we're not supposed to know. We're not.
I know. But I just, it was driving me
nuts.
Everybody's like, I know. I'm like, damn it, I want to see that. But this was so much fun. One thing I was telling Brian when I watched this is the voice acting's amazing, right?
Thank you.
It syncs up so well. with the actions on screen. Do you normally record the dialogue first and then do the action, or how does that work?
It's opposite. Since none of the puppets' mouths move, I made sure to time out the joke with the movement, and then I already had a rough edit and I played it to the actors, so they were watching it as they were voicing, and I was reading with them, and I was directing them on how I wanted them to voice it, and the actors were freaking phenomenal. Like, I am so grateful for my casting. Everyone did such a great job. It's just like they made it happen. Like, I could jiggle a puppet all day long, like they're just floppy dolls. They're not even like puppets. There's nothing in them. Right. So it's all like hello everybody, hello children.
So I see almost all the dolls there. I don't see the Doomsday Prepper.
Oh, he's right here.
Oh, okay.
It's just peeking in like all creepy.
He was oh my god, he was the funniest character, one of the funniest characters.
Thank you.
Oh,
that
he was
actor
just
will
great.
love to hear that,
I'm sure. There's so many random things that happen in this movie, Mark. So you haven't seen it yet, but aliens have come and they're resurrecting the dead. And then you have Tom doesn't want his dead girlfriend brought back to life as a zombie, so he naturally digs her up and carries her around town with him.
And it's all practically puppeteered. There's not one green screen in the whole movie. The only thing that's CGI are like the spaceships and the lasers, but everything else, not one green screen. Everything is practical. He drives a Mini. I had a Mini at the time, so he drives a Mini, like a full-size Mini.
Yep.
Gets carjacked almost immediately, so I don't want to give it away.
It's so much fun.
How long did this shooting take?
We shot for 8 full days. They weren't consecutive. I had to wait for people to be available. And then it took like 9 months of me sitting in an editing bay, like editing for nonstop.
That's pretty amazing. When you said 8 full days, but like how often did you have to reshoot? Like, did you have trouble when the voice actors were actually recording? Did they have any trouble with syncing up the scenes that you had to reshoot?
If I was to toot my own horn, I planned this out very, very well. Like, I knew exactly what I wanted, shot for shot, and everything was shot in those 8 days. We never worked an hour over 8 hours. We never had to reshoot anything. I had all the footage I needed, like, there. I just, in my brain, I didn't write anything out. I didn't make little storyboards or anything. I knew in my head exactly the shot list that I needed, and I'm directing it, so I'm like, and I'm editing it, so I'm like, I know exactly how I'm going to cobble this thing together. And then the sound design is so good. It just cohesively makes everything go together. And like the music that I was able to get my hands on, like those are all my friends. They were like, take whatever you want in my whole catalog of music. So I got to pick and choose like the best rock and roll, EDM, like dubstep stuff. Like it has a crazy soundtrack on top of it. So it was just very smooth.
Mark, you were going to ask a question?
So actually, as far as like, I know it's a different style, but there's been a pretty big mainstream movie, stop motion, right? That's obviously got a lot of elements from puppetry and that type of stop motion work. I wonder if there's going to be a bit of a renaissance in like puppety horror.
I actually think that we as an audience are so sick and tired of CGI everything. I think we will have a resurgence, like back to Gremlins and like Chucky. I mean, Chucky's having like a renaissance right now with his series and stuff. Like, I think we the audience want to see something real, tangible. Like okay, we know it's a puppet. We know we're willing to let go of it. But when it's just like pure CGI, everything everywhere, it's like, okay, all right.
And that Mark and I had this conversation earlier this week where I said I have a soft spot for puppet horror, like the Ghoulies, like from Troll. I loved all those little hand puppets. I loved them all.
Yeah.
Meet the Feebles.
Never saw it.
You've never seen Meet the Feebles?
No.
Vera, have you seen it?
No, but I know what you're talking about. No.
Yeah, it's the early Peter Jackson movie, and it is nuts.
Yes, I have seen that. Oh my god. Early Peter Jackson is like insane. Like, I hope to get to his level from this.
That would be awesome. But it did. So there's. I don't know if you've seen the movie Dave Made a Maze. It's about this guy that just builds a maze in the middle of his apartment, and he gets lost in it. And then his friends come and try and save him. And once they enter the maze, they turn into puppets.
Oh, wow.
It was so much fun. Like, and this has similar quirky, absurdist kind of vibes to it. And I think that's why I loved it so much. Because it's just, there's so much going on. I don't even know where to start. But it's so much fun. How long did it take you to write this?
About 9 months. Like, it was 9 months of writing, 3 months of shooting, but it was 8 days non-consecutive over 3 months, and then 9 months of. It was like I gave birth twice.
Yeah,
9 months
sounds
of
like
post-production. And I already had Dark Side releasing and was already on board to release it. I just called them up and I'm like, hey, so I'm doing a zombie alien emo gothic puppet movie. You want it? And they're like, whenever you're ready, we'll take it.
I felt bad too because I just posted a review of it online the other day, and I called Tom a sad sack. I'm like, that's probably not how she wants him described. But
you can describe it however you want. Like every time, everyone describes it a little differently, and it's like it tickles my ears, like because everyone gets it in a different way, and I'm just like, yes. And it's so funny. It's such a funny little movie.
It really is because I mean, for the first half of the movie, when I turned on, I'm just going, what? I don't understand what. And then I finally got into it. I'm like, oh, I like this. I like this a lot.
I think the story just like leaves it. It's a very cohesive story. Like,
yeah,
everything
absolutely.
Comes around, and I like to write things that don't leave off like dun dun dun. In the end, the reveal part 2.
Yeah.
How about you give someone like the satisfaction of actually ending something?
Right.
Which is not the end because the goal right now is to make this into a TV series. And the TV series will be the story with these characters reimagined in a whole nother kind of way. So I'm already writing that.
Oh my God, I can't wait. I'm so excited. You have no idea.
I have an idea for a sequel, though.
Mark, you haven't even seen the movie. How could you have an idea for a sequel?
Just a concept.
Okay.
So the concept is, right, now you have actual actors playing the puppets, but puppets behind the scene controlling them.
So like the people are marionettes? That could be fun. So I wanted to talk a little bit about you, Vera, though, because you've done a lot of acting also, right? In front of the camera.
Unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately. I guess that answers my next question. Which do you prefer?
I don't like pursue acting. I will act in my own things, and I will act when asked to act, but I don't like pursue acting. I don't think it's like my favorite part of this industry. I love it. I'll do it. Like, in fact, you guys are the first guys that I will tell you. I just filmed, I think, 4 or 5 episodes of a new horror show where I play like the Elvira like hostess. Seducia Darkly is my name.
Ooh.
And it's going to be called Treasures of Terror, and I host it as and they will play just like in Elvira's Macabre. It's going to be little horror film shorts that I'm introducing and doing little skits between. So that was super fun, and that was great because it was just kind of offered to me like, hey, we know you're the one that could do this the most fun. So hey, they saw me in Breaking Barbie and were like, that's our girl. And you got to see Breaking Barbie next.
I can't wait to watch that one. I will have that watched by the end of the weekend, I promise.
Okay. That one is far more ridiculous than this one. It's a spoof on how much I was a little ahead of my time in 2017 when I made it. It was like a spoof on how much I hate influencers. And now, and back then, the world was like, what the hell is this? Is this a porno? And it's not. There's not even a kiss in it.
Okay.
But it's a spoof on influencers, online dating, and alien conspiracy theories all wrapped in one. And it's ridiculous.
That sounds fun.
Go find the whole thing. It's free on YouTube, not on my channel. My distributor put it on some channel. But yeah, it's free. Go find it. It's hysterical. The whole movie is my ass. That's it. It's just Vera's ass.
Okay.
I will give no more.
So I like to, fact check things that I find online.
Of course.
So Vera,
Yes.
Here is a piece of trivia I found. You've already said you're one of the top child size hand models, but it
Yes.
also says we're 2017 Natural Miss Olympia.
Yes. I'm one of my hobbies is natural bodybuilding, and I used to compete. I haven't competed in the last 2 years because it is a little rough on the
Right.
health to like get down
Mhm.
to a certain body
Mhm.
fat percentage to stand on stage and go, "Hello, I am beautiful." But yeah, I have done 2 natural Olympias, gold medal,
Wow.
bronze medal, and I have a whole rack of like bodybuilding statues and stuff. Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
do you feel like a slouch yet? She's so
Oh,
accomplished.
oh
and we're
yeah,
not.
yeah. Like we're just
Yeah,
losers.
right. We talk on the internet.
I'm just
I'm
one
voting.
time. You gotta have hobbies other than sticking your hand up toys' butts, you know.
Right?
Jim?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so Mark, you may not know this, but Vera and I were talking right before you got on here that I watched something where she played a very well-known character, somebody that you would know very well. And I'm going to give you the character's name. You're going to tell me what series
Okay.
it would fall in. Marge Thompson.
Marge Thompson?
Mm-hmm.
Marge Thompson.
A very, very pregnant Marge Thompson.
A very pregnant Marge Thompson.
Which I happen to have the pregnancy belly from my very first feature film that I did called Safe House.
Oh.
I don't know if you'll ever find it. I don't even know if it's like in existence now, but it's basically my art house piece on like a bunch of kids sitting in a house doing heroin. Oh. And then I went into puppet alien shit. So there you go.
That heroin's good.
Yeah. If you say so, Mark.
There.
Right? Mark, you figured it out yet, Mark?
No, it's not, like I know that I know it.
It's Kruger, Tales from Elm Street. She was Nancy's mom.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's
Nancy's
pretty exciting.
Mom, she's got it going.
That's right. Oh, you've done 2 though, because there's a walk through Elm Street also. Or were they the same one? Was I watching the same one?
I was only in that one, I think, and they also dubbed my voice. That's not my voice in it because I never made it to the voiceover section. So I think it's the director's other actor voicing me. So I don't sound that good. I have a very raspy, gross voice.
The one that I found on YouTube is called the Supercut, whatever that means. I have no idea.
You can find a lot of weird stuff that I've been in on YouTube. Like, there was a web series called Goth Girl that ran for 3 seasons. If you want to see very young, silly Vera with a head full of, like, these cyber dreads and looking all goth and being violent, Goth Girl is the way to go. That's on my YouTube channel. You can find the whole thing. If you want to go way back, like Vera's very first attempt at writing, it's a web series called The Building of Good and Evil, where everyone who lives on the 6th floor is a demon and everyone who lives on the 7th floor is an angel. And it's just a building of demons and angels like being neighborly with each other, and this one human girl played by me trying to like make it in the industry and failing terribly.
Oh, that sounds like it could be fun. I did have a question though. What was it? So you did a Teen Titans web series.
Yes.
Right?
I played Supergirl's mom.
I love the Teen Titans. Wow. So what was that like?
That was a really great project. I love everything I do. I don't do anything, like, usually it's just, like I said, friends that ask me to, like, be in their stuff. I don't really audition for anything. Like, if you want, like, a weirdo, I'm your person.
And that's why we love you.
Thank you. But it's just all friends asking me to be in their stuff, and I'm like, sure. I'm not doing anything.
Is there anything that you've worked on, you know, past or future or coming up, or just that you've not gotten to make yet that you want to do? Like, is there a storyline you haven't tackled yet?
Like I said before, this is going to be a TV series if it kills me. And I really want to tell that story. Like, the things the things in this TV show that I could do that I couldn't do in the movie. I mean, I don't want to give it away, but it is so. Oh, if you think this is weird, this is like 10 times 10. weird
I think
and stuff you've never seen before in the puppetry kind of way.
I mean,
Awesome.
it's great.
I take the concept of Thing from the Addams Family and I just run rampant with it.
That sounds amazing.
Jim, did you know we have an Avenger on our podcast today?
We do.
Vera?
Yeah.
Is this true?
I cosplay Black Widow for many years.
It says you were in Shamelessly She-Hulk.
As the Black Widow.
And you're originally from Russia?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you originally from Russia?
Yeah, I was born there, but I was raised American as pie. This is why I do not talk like this.
Well, it just suits the Black Widow character then.
It does?
I know! I was a redhead at the time. The blonde is a new thing. But I was a redhead at the time. I speak Russian. I started in this industry as a stunt chick, so I was like, this is perfect! So that was, originally my very first cosplay, I've been cosplaying for a very long time, was Tomb Raider. And then I went over to Black Widow because literally the same outfit, different accessories. So that's how that came.
That's fair. So
I'm just going down your IMDb page.
That's what I'm looking at too. And I just realized you're in one of my husband's favorite TV shows. Law and Order Criminal Intent. He loves that show.
Oh.
My husband loves that show.
Of me in, oh my God. So I love that show too, but they stole a photo of me for some insert of me in one of my armors from cosplay. And they didn't credit me, so I made them credit me. I'm like, hey, I wish I did something. I wish I spoke a word. It would have gotten me my SAG card sooner.
Right. I do.
You also played Evil Judo Lady. As cool as Jennifer.
Oh, yes. Evil Judo Lady. I heard you say Evil Jew Lady. That too. But,
Mark.
Very evil. Yes, that's one of the very first things, like when I first started back out, like as a stunt woman, it was like a really fun shoot. Like in the beginning of my career, I just did a bunch of everybody I knew who was in the industry, and I only knew these people because I would meet them at horror and comic book conventions because they're stuffed with like filmmakers, and that was the way I would like got my introduction to like filmmakers, and I was like, I can do stunts for you. And then I quickly realized, like, oh shit, I don't like sleeping on bags of ice for like 3 nights in a row. Maybe acting should. And then I'm like, nah. Like the power and the creativities and the writing, the producing and the directing. So it took me a very long time to get there, but I'm getting there.
So Vera, are you a horror fan?
Of course. Oddly, everything I make is horror. But I don't watch as much horror as I should. But
and that's what I was going to say. I see I was going to say I see a lot of horror films on your IMDb page. So I was wondering if that was by choice or if it just happened to happen.
It just kind of happened because horror is the most open door to beginning actors, like young actors who don't have many credits. Anybody will put you in a horror movie if you just can scream, can run, can trip over a pebble or a blade of grass.
Right.
And go, horror movie.
Yeah, that's true.
To LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark?
You're good at screaming and falling over things.
I don't scream very well.
I just did that this morning. Just like getting out of the shower. What are you talking about?
Right. Mark?
Yes?
What else you got?
Do you ever look at like your IMDb or anything like that? Do you ever like I would totally do that.
I try not to.
Mark?
I try not
I was
to.
gonna say,
but sometimes you're curious to see where your ranking is, and I'm like, all the way at the bottom, and it's like, oh, okay. So that was great. But you know what? What I take,
I don't think so.
If you go on the IMDb of Breaking Barbie, you'll see that movie has a rating of 2.2 out of 10, which should tell you exactly how great that movie is. Although I love that film. Like, I am so proud of my writing on that movie.
I might have some good news for you.
Yeah.
It's up to 2.5. Yeah.
Which is halfway to 5, which is halfway to 10.
Right.
So we're almost there.
That's right.
Exactly.
You're getting there.
It's going up. This is great. But you'll see it. You let me know what you think, because I think I was a little bit ahead of my time in 2017, and now it's like everyone knows what a joke most influencers are, and back in 2017, they still thought those people were like heroes, and now everyone's like, oh yeah, they're just a bunch of freaking yeehaws.
I mean, right? We have idiots that listen to us all the time, so we get it. I find it weird too, because people will send me pictures of our podcast playing on their TV. I'm like, why are you listening to me? I don't get it.
Because they love you.
We do it for fun. Mark and I actually met at a horror movie convention, and that's where the podcast was born. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yep.
See, my acting career was born, and your podcast career was born.
Absolutely.
One do you think's doing better?
I don't have an IMDb credit, so we know who's doing better.
Not yet.
Not yet. So what are you working on currently, other than the TV show? Like, do you have any scripts or stories that you're working on now, or are you just focusing just on the TV show?
I'm just focusing on writing 10 episodes of this, or 8 episodes of this, and trying to get that off the ground. And as I said, I just did Seduce Your Dog. I can't say it any other way. In Treasures of Terror, look out for that coming up. Hopefully, I'm really optimistic that it'll come out as good as I think it will, because it is just so cheeseball Elvira-esque. Like, I am the bargain basement Elvira, and she was already bargain basement. And if we could just take that as an homage to her, like, because I'm wearing the little dresses with the little tight waist and all that stuff, I'm like, I think it'll do very well. I think everyone will enjoy the little character I created for that.
How about doing a version all in puppets?
Oh,
there you go.
That would be so much easier for me.
I
don't have to dye it down and wear a waist cincher for that. I can just grab one. Like here.
That's my favorite character. Mark, that's my favorite character from the movie. I was telling Mark that's my favorite character from the movie, Izzy.
Yes.
Did you make the dolls, Vera?
No, I actually found a doll maker in Slovenia on Etsy who made them all for me. So
she did a great job.
Yeah,
she did. They're all like if you look at them, they're all hand painted. This is all hand painted. She made them.
Wow!
Like, they're all even his t-shirt's hand painted. He has that little, because he's emo. He's got a little side chain. Like, all these cute little details that I hope translated in the film.
Oh, they look fantastic on film.
They do, and they look great in HD, and they'll look great in 4K, and they'll look great in 8K.
Right? I'm going to be perfectly honest. I have dogs. I don't know how you keep those things clean. Dogs and my cat. My dogs would be all over them.
I have a secret way. I keep them on a shelf really high, right up to my ceiling, and I don't have any pets. And they're all Scotch guarded.
Perfect. There you go.
I knew they were going to be put through hell while filming, so I Scotch guarded all of them, and they cleaned off just fine. Because this guy got accidentally splashed with blood during that scene. Yes. Oh. You're in for a treat.
Yes.
There's hang gliding. There's alien spaceships. There's an homage to Basic Instinct. I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to ruin it.
It sounds like an outtakes at the end would be cool too. It
would be fun.
Yeah.
Because I know what made it.
I should have.
I was gonna say I know what made it into the film, so I can only imagine what didn't.
Well, some of the outtakes are on our Instagram, which is Apocalypse Love Movie on Instagram. But there were there's very little that we could do. I mean, the doll's either doing this, hello everybody, or it's dead. So it's just properly laying there.
I'm not gonna lie. My favorite part was that every now and then you see a hand controlling the puppet. Yeah. I thought that was so neat because it almost breaks the fourth wall and you know what's going on, obviously, but you just don't care because the movie's just so bonkers.
Well, it's a play motion animation, so that's what that's called when you see the hand puppeteering it. And the hands are always there. It's just that like I think after like 5 minutes you forget the hands are there because you're just enthralled in this weird story that I got going, and that all comes, like I said, together so nicely at the end. Like, it's so satisfying.
It does. It actually is. I had so much fun with it, which is why I bought it.
Oh, thank you so much. And I will sign it for you when I see it.
Yes, you will. Next time you come to Florida or I go to LA.
All right.
One of the two. So I know this is your passion project, but what is the picture you had the most fun on, or the most fun making?
Like a movie, like in the process of?
Yeah.
I had great fun with this, obviously, but the most fun actually was Breaking Barbie.
Yeah.
It was a lot of, everything had to be very calculated with this movie. From my wardrobe to the way Barbie looks, the way I designed her character to look. She looks very vapid because I'm wearing like these contact lenses that just give her that dumb influencer stare that they all have.
Right.
I love my influencers. No, I don't. And like I had to come up with an outfit that was really sexy, but everything was covered because I knew I'd be running through forests the whole time because she's just the whole thing is a play on like a social commentary on how much we're in our phones. Like she's in her phone so much she misses an alien invasion in the background. It's literally the plot of Barbie is she's just like, oh my god, I don't have any signal. OMG. How am I going to upload this selfie as a spaceship flies by? A pterodactyl flies by. I don't even want to ruin it, but those things are in that movie.
That sounds awesome.
Barbie was actually meant to be a trilogy, and the first movie, which unfortunately it's never going to be filmed that way, but the first movie sets up the other two with like 60 Easter eggs that would have made sense should you have seen all three of them together, because the first movie is the present, the middle movie takes place in space, and the third movie takes place in time. So all the things will make sense from the first movie if those two were made. But unfortunately, that's never going to happen. The third movie poster was supposed to be, because it's a time-lapse movie, a time travel movie. Right. The poster to that would have been Barbie on a pterodactyl with the sword over her head, a la Heavy Metal.
Right. I still think you should do that photo shoot though, because that would be a blast.
For sure. I can cobble that together for sure. But yeah, the pterodactyl in the first movie would make sense with the third movie.
Gotcha.
But I got 2.5 stars on that thing now. I'm so happy. You know, kudos to me. For all the people that hate on a movie, how many people like it and don't leave a comment, you know? So
that's for you. Like, people are more likely to complain, take the time out to complain, right?
Exactly. Complaints are really more like, why is this not a porno? And we thought it was.
Right.
So here's a review, 7 out of 10, trashy brilliance.
Oh.
Right?
Damn.
And I'm not going to read the whole thing out, but it said full marks to Vera Vanguard, who not only stars as a useless but lovably ditzy hottie Barb, but she also co-wrote the whole thing. So there is some positive things out there too.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank God. See, it's picking up. They'll come around. The folks will come around, I'm sure.
Absolutely. You know what? All you have to do is just slap an A24 logo on it now, and it'll be a hit.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, that's all it takes anymore.
Yeah, let's just put a sticker on there.
You should have like a film company called like A23. You know, it'd be like a science movies.
Okay, so I do want to read one review.
Uh-oh.
No, I want to read this because I like this. It says, what is with all these negative reviews? You can see what kind of movie this is just by looking at the poster. This is not a trip into intellectual parlor humor. This flick was made to be silly, and it is silly, which makes it charming and fun. It's wonderfully watchable, and the plot is so completely off the wall, you have to love it. If you're in the mood for lowbrow humor, this is the movie to watch. That sounds perfect.
Wow! That's amazing!
See? Right?
All right. See, that person gets it.
Yep, exactly. And that's
I don't make things for everyone. I just make it for us, the weirdos.
Right. That's right.
Everyone else can go kick rocks.
That's right. Absolutely. And I will add my review to, which I've never done before, to IMDb when I'm done watching the movie.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You haven't seen the way Jim rates things.
Oh, shut up, Mark. I actually like Vera, unlike you.
You didn't rate me, Jim.
You definitely would not recommend.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
1 out of 10.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So Mark hates the fact that I rate movies based on their actual worth at the time and not just based on what I remember them being when I first saw them.
Oh.
And he hates the fact that I watch a lot of movies and love a lot of movies that I have nostalgia for. So I'll give you, for instance, he's really pissed that I said Event Horizon was one of my top 10 movies of all time.
Hang on, let's not go a little hyperbole here, Jim.
Oh, I'm not
really pissed. I just think it's very strange that somebody in their own subjective top 10 horror movies has anything under like a 9 or a 10 out of 10. I just find it, that's all.
But I absolutely adore Event Horizon. However, I can't give it a 9 or a 10 because the special effects don't hold up because the CGI is terrible now. So I rated a 6, but I still absolutely love the movie and will watch it every time it's on.
How is it that we're getting further in time, but like our CGI is getting worse? How is that even possible? Like it was great, like even 15, 20 years ago. Like,
yep.
How did they advance
the Sci-Fi Channel
worse?
Because I think it's just becoming the standard now. So every single film is just using whatever they can afford.
Yep.
Right.
But then again, saying that, a lot of the big budget movies have terrible CGI too. So
that's what I mean.
I'll give you one better. There's a 7-minute short on YouTube called "Every Time We Meet for Ice Cream, Your Whole Fucking Face Explodes," and the CGI is a lot of fun in that one.
Is it face or head? I
think face. It's face.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to look this up now.
So I don't know if you've seen the movie, but there's a found footage movie called Frogman, and it's the same director.
Really?
Yeah, and like what I liked about it was the color palette because it's set in the late 50s, early 60s, and it's lots of bright pinks and greens, and I just love the color palette.
It's very David Lynchian.
Kind of, yeah.
The last horror-esque movie that I saw that was in that color palette was The Love Witch. Have you seen that? Oh.
I keep skipping that one.
Oh yeah,
it's for girls. I think it got me. I was like, oh. I loved it.
Right, but the poster, you're right, has that same type of feel to it. The cover art that I've seen
is shot to look like it's from the 60s, but it's in modern time.
Yeah. Right.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. So what they do is they pushed a lot of like the reds to be like super red in it, and they did the very Argento-esque swapping with the color palette quite a lot. So yeah, it just looks gorgeous.
Why do you have to bring up Argento? He's terrible.
Yeah.
See what I have to put up with, Vera? So
you
talked about. I did, unfortunately. So what was your inspiration? I mean, you said this started as a COVID project, but what was the kickoff for the storyline for Apocalypse Love? Like, what made you think that we could do? This is where we should take this story.
It actually organically came about as I was writing.
Okay.
I knew the concept that I was going to work with, like aliens, zombies, emo, and goth. Like, how do I mush it all together? And I had a very rough script written like years ago that I just threw in the trash, but I kept the concept and completely rewrote it. But the original was just like it would not survive the day of today. It made fun of all the wrong groups and had all the wrong humor and was cancelable in like 2 seconds. So I'm like, okay, zombies, aliens. No one's really done zombies, aliens yet. And the whole concept of zombies being produced by aliens who are just like, we need ground troops. Let's just eradicate them with their own kind.
Here, I have some bad news for you.
Please tell me. What am I missing?
Are you sitting down? Okay.
Yeah.
That's the plot of Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Why did I blank on that? Of course it is.
I've not seen it, so.
I haven't seen that movie, but there's nothing new under the sun. But did they have gothic emo grave digging in that?
You should look. They have a like an Elvira. She was called like Vampira.
Vampira, yeah.
Oh yes, that's right. That's right. Ed Wood, yeah.
Mark.
Mhm.
Mark, did they have floppy dolls?
Well, that's a very personal question, Jim. I don't know.
Show us on the doll where he
This one does.
it.
And there is a twist in the movie with the aliens, so we don't want to ruin anything, but it might be a little bit different.
Oh, I'm not saying it's a bad idea or it's a great idea.
No.
Hey, if it worked for Ed, it'll work for Vera. That's all I gotta say.
That's right. I agree. I agree 100%.
This is Ed Wood. You're doing something right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I'm okay with that. Totally
So,
okay with that.
So with Ed Wood being made into a movie with Johnny Depp as Ed Wood, so who would play you, Vera?
Hopefully a fully. I don't know. So who's as the most weird person you could find? Get them. Get the weirdo.
Oh, Kat Dennings.
All right, I'll take.
Florence Pugh.
Oh no. We'll get somebody that's actually fun to watch.
Not you then, Jim.
No, not me. No, not me. I'm too. I don't have the right hands to portray.
Right. It has
Vera.
to be someone with small hands.
Right.
Or it won't work.
Mark, you could do it.
Donald Trump? I don't know.
Shut up. Let's not
Oh
get
my
political.
God. So quick funny thing about that is I wish somebody had the balls to do, or if I had the balls, I don't have any political balls whatsoever. Do not write politics. I don't dabble in any. But how funny would it have been to edit a Trump speech and edit it to what he's doing with his hands, and it would be my hands painted orange, and I'm scribbling with a crayon, and then it cuts to his speech. He looks down, and it's just he's just playing with Play-Doh with his little orange hands. I think that would have been so hysterical.
That sounds like a good idea for a YouTube series. Oh,
it does.
Yeah.
It does.
And it's coming up to election time, so you got your audience built in.
I know. I don't know if I want to be known for that, but
You don't want the
I
death
think
threats.
it's funny. I think it would have been very funny.
Live? Oh, that is not what I thought it said.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at the IMDb page for Barbie, and it said live action. Was it live? Hold on, the production company.
Oh, that's me.
Live action figures. I didn't know what I read the first time, so I had to look at it twice. I was like, what? That didn't make any sense to me.
That's me. Live action figure films. That came actually from cosplay. When I first started, I was like, I'm the live action figure, and I'm like, live action figure films, and it spells out laugh. Get it? Ha ha.
Yeah, I do. So, how did your cosplay adventure start? Is that just something you've always been into?
No, I was just starting to get into costuming. I did a costume for the Renaissance Fair. I was just learning how to weave chainmail at the time. I was doing it out of key links. Hilarious. And then I met someone that did go to comic book conventions, and I'm like, I could do Tomb Raider because I was playing it on the PS2 at the time.
Right.
Anyway, just aging ourselves into oblivion. But but I looked at that and I was like, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider 2, London Level, black cat suit. That's gonna be my thing. So that's how I got into the black cat suit. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm a redhead and I'm a Russian. And I could possibly be a spy, but we're not telling you. So, Black Widow, same black cat suit, just different accessories. And I went to a little store and I got the little circles and I made the little belt and little gauntlets and boom. It's the cheap cosplay of get the black cat suit, because if you get a black cat suit, then you can do Black Cat, you could do Catwoman, you could do anything with that thing.
Right.
I'd
mean,
like
you
to
could.
do Supergirl. I think I would do a great Supergirl.
Oh yeah.
I would not look good in a black cat suit. I'm just saying. So
Yes,
I'm not
you
going to.
would.
Oh no! Trust me, no.
no.
Yeah, no. Nobody wants to see that. Trust me. Mark, you going to get a cat suit for the next horror convention? Maybe. No.
No, Jim, I don't think I will.
Why not?
I would look too awesome in it, and then would never take it off.
Yeah, and then everybody would be jealous, and that's it. And you'd break the internet, and then what will we all do?
Well, he refuses to put his picture on the internet. Thank God his wife does.
Yeah,
I saw the picture of the sloth, Mark.
I know. They were cute. We got the
Mark
whole sloth.
Mark went on a cruise and got to hold a sloth.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, lucky him.
They were very cute.
Lucky Mark, what else you got?
I would like to know, Vera.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite movies?
Well, I have, like, the one that I talk about on every podcast, and then I have my gripe with the remake, which is Dark Crystal. That's what started this whole thing for me.
Oh, I love that movie.
And actually, yesterday I was cleaning my house, and I found my graphic novel of Dark Crystal from, like, the 80s, and I was like, I still have it! Oh, my God! It's not in great shape. It's not sellable for me.
That's
Anyway.
okay.
Yeah, Dark Crystal is kind of what started it for me, and the Netflix Dark Crystal show was like, God.
See, I didn't mind it that much.
Like, it was beautiful. Gorgeous. Yeah. Everything was beautiful about it. The story needed to be taken and thrown in the trash.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Just saying.
I did not like the expanded storyline of the Mystics. Like, I liked them in the original movie.
You know what? If God gave me all the powers in the Hollywood and it was my show, I would have told the story of how they got to that planet and became the Skeksis and the Mystics. Like, tell the origin story if it's going to be a prequel.
Right.
Make it a prequel. Yeah. That would have been interesting.
Right, but instead it's about two more Gelflings.
Yeah, their CGI faces. Actually, that's one of the reasons why I didn't CGI their faces to have any expression. I was like, no, it didn't work. It didn't work for them. It's not going to work for me.
No, I loved that you didn't have any expression on your puppets. It was one of the most charming things about the movie, I think. Because, and it really makes you have to pay attention to the voice actor in order to get the emotion, and they did a fantastic job.
They did. I'm so grateful to them.
Did you ever think about getting dolls with different, like the same doll, but with different facial expressions and, like, cutting it?
I thought about that, yes, but it was just, like, financially, like, I paid for all this, so it was, like, straight out of Vera's pocket.
Right.
And I was like, okay, well, I'll make it work. And we did. Oddly, it all played in my head, and I was like, I can make this work. I had no idea that I'd make it work. Sort of like me remodeling my bathroom recently. I could make this work. I did it all myself. I'm, like, grouting for the first time in my life. I'm like, what is this?
It's hell. That's what it is.
Like you would know, Mark. You just hire somebody to do it.
I'm proud of my grouting. It's not perfect, but it's mine.
That's right. It's yours. That's all that matters. Is there a character that you had to cut out of the film, or a character that you didn't get to use when you were filming, or did you use everybody you wanted to?
I had to, because these dolls were coming through from Slovenia in lockdown. It was taking 3 months of time between the doll being made and the doll being sent and the doll arriving. So I needed to concisely finish lock down the script, and then I knew exactly how many puppets I had to make. And by the way, all those zombie hands, they're all like little zombie hands on popsicle sticks.
I love it.
I only have one zombie puppet. This is the only one that was actually a real zombie. He got to, like, be in a bunch of, like, little scenes. But, yeah, they were just, look at how sweet they look.
They're so cute.
They're just so expressive without even trying.
They are. They're adorable.
Yeah, so that was the process. The process was I had to lock down the script, order the puppets, and I first made him just to see how it worked. Okay. And the doll maker, she didn't make these like this. I found her on Etsy and I talked to her. I sent her a video of me holding actually a Fraggle doll that was just this floppy. And I sent her a video of me puppeteering it. And I'm like, I need it to be floppy. And I need the head to be very floppy because I need to be able to like just move it around and like talk to them with it. And it's like, oh, okay, that's the way that works. Okay. And then she literally sent me this one. This was the one she sent. This is the first one. The sizzle reel that I shot was with this guy digging up the girlfriend, and that made it into the movie too. Because that was, I'm like, I couldn't reshoot that again because we're like gorilla running around a cemetery. Like, it's just the three of us. It's just me, Lisa McNeely, my other puppeteer, and my Scotty Baker, my DP. And it's just the three of us and a bunch of puppets just running around a cemetery trying to get it all in while no one's looking. Like, we're hiding behind tombstones as he's doing the little digging.
Right. And
it's
it was
so funny.
One of the things I like Mark, when one of the scenes when Tom is, I don't remember if he was going to or coming from the cemetery, he's carrying a little, like a beach shovel with him. It's so funny because like everything else is real world and you know, full size except the shovel and the cauldron.
Everything they hold in their little puppet paws is to size. Like,
might just take them a while.
His little machine gun is to size. But anything else is like in the real world.
Yep. When they were drinking, when they were drinking, that was funny. That was so funny.
Anything they're holding is to size. The world is normal size. Sort of like Bobby's world, because, you know, Bobby is like this big or something, and the world is normal around him.
Right. It's so charming, Mark. I can't wait for you to watch it. I think you'll really like it.
It sounds awesome.
It really is. It's a blast. So what was it like? So is your movie's only streaming on Momitu, right?
It's on Momitu, it's on Amazon, and then it's in a lot of other different platforms, but my distributor is Canadian, so they were able to get it further out in worldwide, like it's on Sky in Europe and some other things, but in the US it's Amazon and Momitu.
And how does it feel actually like being able to pull up the streaming service and see your film on there?
Oh, it's it's amazing.
Yeah.
I live for this shit. I live for it, literally. Like, I want people to laugh at my silly, gross humor. There's a poop scene in Breaking Barbie, but I've already said too much. Let me just warn you, if you can make through the first 11 minutes of Breaking Barbie with an I, everybody, not I-E, and the I is a selfie stick with the camera on top. Ha ha ha. If you can make it through the first 11 minutes, then you know what kind of ride it is. Like, I just, set the timer to 11 minutes. If you can make it through that, you can make it through the rest of the movie.
I watched Aftermath for 34 minutes. I think I can handle 11 minutes of Barbie. I don't think I'll be in trouble at all.
Did I answer the question? I don't remember.
What your favorite movies were? No, that was like a few questions.
Yeah, that was a few questions ago.
I think I started with Dark Crystal. And I'm so into old nostalgia 80s movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of them. We're talking like Footloose and Flashdance and stuff like that, because that was an era into itself where filmmakers could go and make something that was inspirational. Like, all that stuff was like, go follow your dream, live the dream, Electric Boogaloo, we need to save with dance. I love that feeling. It's before my time, but we don't have inspirational stuff like that now for some reason. I just don't get the same feeling, and it's not even nostalgia, because like I said, before my time, but I still want that feeling of go find your dream, we could save our community with dance, we could do it with art, we could do it with, let's make a movie and save whatever. It was always a follow the dream type of scenario, and why did we lose that?
Well, Jim's a big fan of High School Musical, so...
Oh, God. Good for you.
He's kidding. He's kidding. I'm not. But I don't even know if I've seen them. My niece was a big fan of them. I have not. I don't even think I've seen them. However,
everybody was a big fan of.
I do have a suggestion if you haven't seen it yet. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere, but I will look it up as we talk about it.
We can
You
find
want
it.
inspirational? You want inspirational movies? This one is the best. It is about roller skating.
Yes, Xanadu.
No,
Okay.
it's on Tubi. It's called Solar Babies.
Oh, I've seen Solar Babies.
See,
I love
Damn it.
Solar Babies.
I love that movie.
It's I don't know why, but it's such a feel good ending. Like, oh,
It is.
Oh,
It is,
it's
and
so weird,
nobody-
and it's like the apocalypse on roller skates.
Yep, and that orb only makes it rain. That's all it does.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that movie so
Yes.
much.
Yes. That is such a pull it out of your butthole kind of movie too. Like, who knows about that movie now? Like, nobody.
Pretty much. And that's how I feel whenever I mention it. They're like, "What?"
Nah, you're talking to a true believer now.
I'm so excited. You have no idea. You just became my best friend.
Oh, I'm sorry, Vera.
What'd you say, Mark?
I said, I'm sorry, Vera.
It used to be Mark, but now it's me. You're just
Oh,
jealous.
That's right.
It was,
You're like, you can have him.
That's exactly how he feels. You can just have him.
yeah.
What about
He's
Mark?
okay. Huh?
Mark? We're gonna continue in that vein since we now know that she's a fan, right?
So-
Are you going to mention
hang on
Tank Girl
one-
next?
Hang on 1 second. So I just purchased on Amazon. It's only $4.99.
Yep.
For the DVD.
Go get
Yeah.
it, you guys.
Got it.
It's
I got
a
it.
bargain.
So, hey, I am all for a bargain, and Mark is cheap, so
Yep.
he sold his yacht recently.
Yeah.
Good for you, Mark.
So, one of my other favorite movies from this time is Baron Munchausen. Have you seen Baron Munchausen?
Mm-mm.
It's a
I
Terry
thought you were
Gilliam
going to
movie.
say Tank Girl if we're going into post-apocalyptic weird stuff.
So, I haven't seen Tank Girl. I'm going to be perfectly honest.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, I
Ice-T
can't.
and dog and kangaroo makeup. Come on now.
So I've heard. And there's no reason that I haven't seen it. I just never put it on the TV. But
All right.
The Adventures of Baron Munchausen is from 1988, and it's so weird. Like, it's so off the wall. But
Well,
it's
It's Terry Gilliam. Of course
it
it is.
is. Yep, it absolutely is. So it's basically about this baron that just tells these really exaggerated stories. And what if they were real? So if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. It's
Which is where
fantastic.
Munchausen syndrome comes from.
Ha.
Yep.
All right.
You could rent it a bunch of places, but I don't see it anywhere streaming for free. But just keep it in your pocket. It's a good movie. You'll
All right.
enjoy it.
All right. We'll find it. We got our ways.
We do. Mark, do you have a recommendation?
So something crazy, zany,
Mm-hmm.
out of this world, sort of. Okay, so let's go to some. Have you ever heard of a movie called Ricky O?
No.
So it's a Hong
Start writing
Kong.
stuff down.
It's a Hong Kong movie from the 90s, and it's like a martial arts guy in prison, but
Say
it
more.
is it is over the top crazy town. It's almost like if like Trauma made a martial arts movie.
Oh my
it's
God. That's
That
so
could be
funny.
fun.
Trauma. I think I was supposed to be an extra in Toxic Avenger 3, but I just couldn't. I couldn't live down the conditions that they were going to put us in. It was like no food, no water, and you sleep here on the concrete for 3 days. And I'm like, I'm good.
It's a large
Not so much.
This is why I don't like respect Lloyd. Like at least I make sure my actors are in a comfy place.
Right. Absolutely. So what about trying to think of another movie that's over the top like that? Baron Munchausen is just a movie nobody has ever seen. And I feel there was a cartoon even I did not know back in 1979, Mark. Did you know that?
Yeah,
Wow.
but I think it was just based on the actual story, right? It wasn't part of the Gilliam thing.
Yeah, no, it was not. It's called The Fabulous Adventures of Baron Munchausen.
Yes.
But that one I've not seen. What about Jabberwocky?
I think I have seen that. Is that the one with the circle and it looks like a little maze inside a circle? Is that what the cover is?
No, the cover is like the actual creature, the Jabberwocky from Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, I think I have seen it. I don't remember any of it though.
It's on Peacock if you ever want to revisit it. But I have a thing for Terry Gilliam. I'm not gonna lie. I love his bizarre movies.
Who didn't?
Yeah.
The Editor. Have you seen The Editor? As a person within the business. So The Editor is like a parody of 70s Italian horror with Tristan Risk is in it. I don't know if you know Tristan Risk, but she's really awesome. It is just such a fantastic parody movie. The Editor.
The Editor.
After we're done with this podcast, I need you guys to send me the list of these movies because I'm going to check them all out. Definitely Munchausen for sure.
Yeah, I will. I'll send you the link to the IMDb page so you don't forget.
Oh yes. Please and thank you.
Yep. Mark,
Jim?
You can do the same thing?
Sure.
I've committed. You haven't yet.
I'm just like thinking. It takes a lot of effort. So
yeah, we can smell it from here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like
so, right. What's your favorite horror movie?
You know, I've thought about this and I can't like narrow it down. I just can't.
Do you have a favorite genre then?
I'll say what I enjoyed recently was Megan. I really enjoyed that.
Did you?
I just remember like whatever, like I think a lot of horror movies are getting more clever. They're not just like scream, run, stab. It's more like they're trying to get creative, and especially as a writer, I'm always trying to think of like what's a good idea for a single location horror. And then you watch other movies that are single location horrors. Like I think, what did I see yesterday? That was sort of like The Watchers from M. Night Shyamalan. I saw that yesterday, which is sort of a single. I don't like any of his stuff, but anyway, I just watched it anyway, and I was like, that's almost a single location horror. Like people running in the woods screaming, and then you're in a room.
Right.
Okay.
I love single location.
Yeah, Mark does, but. In all fairness, he's only a producer on that movie. It was his daughter's movie.
Oh, really? All right. See, you know way more than I do.
That was her first movie. And it was based on a book, and the book I hear is fantastic, and fans of the book hate the movie, which is par for the course, right? Because all of us literate types like to turn our nose up at movies.
Pretentious.
Yeah,
so,
always. Mark, what's your most recent favorite watch?
Me?
Yeah.
Let's see. Most recent.
If I may interrupt, I did enjoy Abigail. I actually like Megan and Abigail are like neck and neck in the fun factor. I thought Abigail was more fun actually.
So I have a problem with Abigail.
Tell me.
And it's mostly just the marketing, right? It's not the movie itself. I really wish they never released a trailer for it because they ruined the first half of the movie, right?
Jim, that was the point that I made.
It was, I know.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
But
thanks for agreeing with me for a thing.
I know, right? It's about time. I think hell is finally frozen over, Mark. But then once that actually happens in the film, they wasted Catherine, what's her name? From Freaky. The blonde. Like she plays crazy very well, and they really should have had her let loose in that film, and they didn't. And I think that was a wasted opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't hate the movie. I just have a few issues with it.
So just going back to like favorite recent ones, Godzilla -1.
That's good.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yep.
I'm gonna ruin a surprise in the TV series. The final episode is called Zombiezilla -1 plus an alien wedding.
Equals.
I like it.
I don't know what it equals.
Equals and then a question mark. Ooh.
None of us are that good in math. Come on now.
Right, exactly.
Immaculate. I really enjoyed Immaculate.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I did too. Totally.
I've not seen Immaculate. I saw The First Omen instead.
Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Didn't see that one.
That was a good one.
I haven't seen The Omen either.
The Omen was an okay film, and I don't want to spoil anything for you, but a lot of people are pissed off at the ending. But
Yeah.
A, it's the only way you can continue the series, and B, it's already been done once before in the series. So
Once again,
wasn't
this is like what I said in the beginning to bring it full circle. Can we just have a satisfying ending? Anybody?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
can we
exactly.
just have a satisfying ending? You don't need to leave it dun at the end of every freaking movie.
one of my favorite satisfying endings, or close to the ending, but resolutions anyway, was from The Descent. Have you seen The Descent?
No.
I don't want to ruin it.
Now
If
you
you
think about it.
you really should watch it. It's a great film. It's
I
about
feel like I'm
six
getting
friends.
like the best advice on what to watch next ever.
But be sure to watch the original UK ending, not the awful American ending.
Ah.
So there's two versions of the ending.
There is, and they set up the end of the film very differently. So it definitely has a different vibe at each ending. But it's six ladies all go exploring in caves once a year.
Spelunking.
Right. And they decide to go into a never before explored cave system. Rawr.
And hijinks ensue.
Yeah, hijinks. And some low jinks too.
It's actually great to see like a movie where it's an all-woman cast, right?
Yep.
You don't really see that very often.
And they do it great too.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. When Evil Lurks, have you seen that, Vera?
Mm-mm.
The Argentinian crazy ass movie. Jim,
Yep.
did you ever catch up to it?
I have not watched it yet. I plan to, but I just haven't gotten around to it.
It's fantastic.
That's what I hear. I hear it's pretty brutal too.
Oh, yeah.
Like that.
There's a lot of, as I understand it, there's some fuck them kids moments, and I do enjoy those moments.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
there is a very effective shot of something happening to somebody.
Yeah.
All right.
Not to be obtuse.
I
right?
love it when that happens.
Yeah, exactly.
But the only thing is, it's probably realistic. Like the main character is kind of stupid, like making stupid decisions. But people do that.
Yes, they do.
All
Unfortunately.
the time.
Yeah.
What else? So I guess it's not that modern since it's 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the Barbara Crampton vehicle.
Yeah,
No.
Oh.
We Are Still Here.
Oh, see, that one I haven't seen yet.
With Michael Fassbender in it. Or not Michael Fassbender, it's the other Fassbender. Larry.
Larry.
I don't know how I got those two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's the fast part. The fast can be confusing.
They don't really look alike.
No, not at all.
But yes, that's a great ghost story. It's very kind of Fulci-esque. It's really, really good.
Fulci. Again with those directors. So I've been delving into some extreme cinema, Mark.
Ooh, getting out of your comfort zone, Jim?
I have been. I watched Reel from 2015.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. How was that?
It was actually, I really liked it. I generally don't like found footage films, but the last 20 minutes of that movie are freaking insane. And but it's so good.
You have to get to those 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Right. But that's the thing. It doesn't hurt getting to those 20 minutes. Like, there's a decent story and it's cohesive. Like, it's a natural progression. There were a few things that I thought were a little weird, the way that they film stuff, but in general, it's very solid the way it progresses to what actually happens.
And I'm sorry, Vera. Now that you're talking about puppets, every time something comes up, I'm like, a found footage puppet movie.
I could do that.
That could be
Like,
fun.
what would it be found from? Like an insane puppet master? where the puppets are trying to get out, but the puppet master's trying to keep them in the puppet theater.
No, it would have to be a collector.
Oh.
They would have to be trying to escape from a collector, I think.
Or
Sort of like a Mombi thing from Return to Oz.
Or
Oh.
they could do the whole Fraggle Rock thing, right? They kind of live underground, and then they're warned not to go outside by the puppet elders, and they go out into our world.
That's a great idea, honestly.
Yeah, that could
and
be.
They have their cell phone cameras.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Go back, go back."
Right.
So truck drives over one.
Well,
it's great.
Or they're actually shooting it live, and they've got like a YouTube type thing.
Puppet tube.
So the rest of the puppets are watching what's going on.
They're just live streaming the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. Puppet influencers. Yep.
Yeah.
Aren't they all puppets anyway?
They are.
Ha.
I also, Mark, watched a short from 1995, I think it was, called Aftermath. It's 34 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I think I disappointed the people that asked me to watch it because I had zero reaction to anything that happened in the movie.
I've seen it. It's the one about the medical coroner guy. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the creepiest thing that happens in that movie is that guy's eyebrows. Everything else you can see coming a mile away.
Well, yeah, because that's the whole point of it.
Right.
A little bit of necrophilia.
Yeah, a little bit. Ugh. It's gross. I don't recommend watching it, Vera.
Okay.
It's
No problem.
I mean,
unless you like extreme cinema. If you like extreme stuff, it's worth a watch. But
I wish I knew more extreme cinema. I just it's not something that I wind up just waking up and going, today I'm gonna watch this snuff movie.
So if you want to watch extreme cinema, Mark has some great French recommendations. His favorite movie is
French?
Martyrs.
Say no more.
French. Yes.
Of course.
Martyrs. What year was Martyrs? 2008, Mark?
yes.
The French version is fantastic. He forced me to watch it, and I'm so glad he did. I loved it.
Really?
And the other one you liked was Inside.
Film, and I'm a big horror movie nerd, so
Yep.
That tells you something, maybe.
And then it was Inside was the other one, right?
Yes, L'Intérieur.
Yeah. So those are more on the extreme side. If you
I mean, you get extreme. You get stuff like Cannibal Holocaust and Atroz and
which I will never watch.
Even Antichrist by Lars von Trier is kind of there.
Yep.
Human Centipede 2. You got a lot of those.
I got through about 5 minutes of Human Centipede 2.
Oh,
That's
it's
all I could do. I was all right, I can't.
I have to, now that I'm not as sensitive about stuff, I need to go back and rewatch them because I think I've only ever seen the first one.
Yeah.
The first one is very, very tame.
Yeah.
Apart from the concept.
Right.
But part 2 just goes.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to think you do save on food, right? Because when one of them eats, they all eat. Eventually.
This you wait till you see the second.
That's the way it works.
Right. Exactly.
Should I spoil a little bit of part 2 for you, Jim?
You could
Mark,
totally.
I don't care about
spoilers. That's the one where
spoilers,
they're
so
in the
that's
prison, right? That's
No,
part
that's
3.
part 3. So,
Right.
so in this one, this guy creates a 12-person centipede, Jim.
Okay.
And, he wants them to have nourishment. So he starts to feed the head of the centipede.
Right.
Like force feed them. And,
Yes.
maybe it picks its course, but it's too slow.
Right.
So he goes down and injects horse laxative into each one of them.
Oh my.
You're
Well,
up
that's
with that.
That's a
why
vibe for
we
sure.
love horror.
Right.
I mean, it's a dark comedy. They're all dark comedies, so.
They are.
Yeah.
And I love a good dark comedy. And it started with War of the Roses back in the 80s, right? That was the first one I remember seeing, and I just love that.
War of the
movie.
Roses was fantastic. It's one of my favorite movies.
Yep, absolutely.
It's so sad and so... it's like, if you want to go through a divorce, watch that movie first.
Yep. And even like the Money Pit, where you're
I love
laughing
the Money
at
Pit.
all the horrible things that are happening to them, because to us it's funny, but then you think, God, these are real people, and then you buy your first house and go, oh crap.
Yep.
So I think something like The Burbs, like from the 80s, is a very good kind of dark comedy.
Yep.
It straddles the line pretty well.
Yep, I absolutely agree. So, Vera, is there anything that you've watched recently that you really enjoyed, whether it's horror related or not?
Oh. Every time anyone asks me what I've reached, what I'm watching recently is not like my normal fare because I watch certain things on the treadmill to like make that go faster. And right now I'm watching Bridgerton, which is like the worst soap opera ever, but it's packaged in such beautiful colors and costumes. Right. I just can't tear myself away from it. So like that, I think I'm going to watch after I'm done with Bridgerton. I'm almost at the end. I think I'm going to be revisiting, and you're going to love this, Buck Rogers in the 21st Century. Yes! I don't think I have ever watched the whole thing through, and now that you can find it streaming, it's time. It's time to do Buck Rogers.
Mark, we should recommend that she watch Ice Pirates.
Oh, I've seen it.
Oh, have you? Okay, perfect.
I've been there.
That's
seen it.
Such.
Jen.
Oh, Mark, what about Dark Side of the Moon?
It's so good. Just love it.
What about Dark Side of the Moon? Have you seen that?
No, not that one.
Mark, tell her about Dark Side of the Moon.
That's not the same.
No, not at all. But it's another bizarre movie.
Yeah, it's kind of like a precursor to Event Horizon.
Yeah, precursor.
It is. Totally. No, it is. It really is, Jim.
Yeah, it has to do with the space program and the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, I'm all in.
Yeah.
Anything alien related, I'm in. I'm more like alien than horror. Like sci-fi is my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, but that's the one with the quote-unquote robot in a cat suit, right?
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So they have.
I mean, it's a woman dressed very kind of like short skirt and sitting in a chair, but she's actually like the robot, and she's like
a fembot.
She's like the mother, type thing. Oh, so, if you like sci-fi stuff, check out Quatermass and the Pit.
I knew that was coming.
Well, yes, because it's my favorite sci-fi movie.
Yes, it is.
Quatermass and the Pit. It's from the 60s. And it's amazing.
Okay. I will tell you what my favorite, and I consider it a horror sci-fi movie is. Okay. And you guys will be like, oh my God, she's such a freak show. The Wraith.
Oh my God, I love that movie. I love that movie.
I gotta say, The Wraith is probably my number one favorite movie of all time. I don't know why.
Do you know how few people have seen that movie?
Two people have seen that movie. Right. You and me.
You and me.
I've watched it countless amounts of time, and I love it every single time. And it's just, and you got the aliens resurrecting the dead, and like this. I want a Turbo Interceptor. I gotta have one. I gotta at least touch it, like at least somewhere. Someone has it in a collection out here somewhere. So,
what movie comes to mind whenever I think about The Wraith? The Guyver. I think that came out around the same time.
It did, actually.
Guyver?
Yep.
Guyver's great, too.
I don't know if I'd say it was great. It's definitely not on the same level. No, it's not.
The Guyver is just a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, that's true. But, so now I have another question. I have another not often seen horror film that's one of my favorites. So I'm curious if you've seen it, and that's One Dark Night with Meg Tilly.
No. Are you guys going to remember all these titles? Because I need a list.
Oh, yeah, I have. Don't worry. My movies I got. Mark's I'm not going to remember. Yeah. I tend to forget what Mark says right the minute after he says it. So he'll have to get you that list. Yeah, right.
Hey, if you're going to bag on Mark, I'm going to bag on Mark because we're best friends now. So
that's right. See, Mark? I'm not alone anymore.
Pick your friends wisely.
I did. She made one of my most recent favorite movies. I'm picking very wisely. Thank you very much.
Oh, hang on. Let me go cancel my Amazon order real quick.
That's okay. I will order 2 more and send them to friends. Don't you worry.
Mark being
Mark can't hold us back.
I'm just joking.
I know. We know. So are we, kind of.
That sort of. That's all I have. Jim, do you have anything else?
No, that's all I've got. I really do want to say thank you, though, because this is amazing. It was so much fun getting to talk to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for getting the movie. Thank you for enjoying the movie.
Oh, you have
and
no
Mark,
idea.
you're in for a treat.
You really are. You really are. And it's only 60 minutes, Mark, so it's not like you got to invest a whole lot of time.
It's fast.
Oh, that's good for me. I've got ADHD, I think. So
I know, that's why I said.
Lives now, just fast movies. These 3-hour movies now, I don't understand who sits through that.
I know, right?
That's how I feel anytime somebody says, hey, it's 9 o'clock, let's go to a movie. You want to do what?
No.
No, it's
Not
time
today,
for bed.
Satan. Not today.
Yeah, exactly. But I do want to say thank you so much, Vera, for hanging out with us. This has been a blast.
Thank you for having me.
You're always welcome back.